It's us.
Hi, guys. It's us.
It is us.
Everybody knows us by now. We've been around a while, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Deborah
And I'm Lori.
with Tom Sewing Weekly Dose.
Yes.
Coming to you from Surrey today.
I gotta share my Samism. I kind of shared it with you, but this is hilarious because it was only part of it. So we got corn on the cob at a little place on Saturday, and so Sunday, I'm sitting at my embroidery machine working on my tile seam, which is an upcoming class. But was working on that, and I hear Sam yelling at the top of his lungs, and they're going, "Yeah, rip his underwear off!" And then Ramon pipes up, going, "Not so loud!" And then Sam goes, "Yes, it's naked!" I texted Daddy, and I said, "Well, I'm expecting cops showing up here soon." Why? And I said, "Sam." She goes, "Oi." And then they were husking corn. So that's simply what they were doing. And Sam kind of yelling his little thing might not have been quite as bad until Ramon pipes in and sits there and said, "Shh, not so loud."
That's what did it.
So it's the adult voice now adding, yeah. So
No, that's a secret, right?
yeah. So
Oh, goodness.
I may need some character witnesses first. This is Sam.
Yeah, you're not hauling me in on that. I'm sorry, I'm staying away.
What's what I said to Val or Addie? I sat there and I said, "Well, Carrie will be one," and she goes, "Well, with Deborah," and I'm like going, "Nope. Otherwise, it's gonna cost us big time on that one."
That'd be really. That's an awful lot of yoga raisins. I'm just telling you. Alrighty,
Yes,
here we go. We got some announcements.
We do.
We have some chats about our upcoming classes, and we have a tech talk today.
Yeah, one of our few. I think
Yes,
this is our last
this
one.
is our last one until probably late August. So pay attention.
Yes. Okay, so
Couple of sales. Well, one definite. We have any demo machines. We do this twice a year. Demo machines that are 6 months old. They've been open for 6 months. Doesn't even mean they've been used.
oh yeah,
They have just been
looked at.
or
For the most part, that's what it is. It's
Yes.
just that.
They are on sale. So now is the time. It's as if you got anybody in school who really thought, "Oh, I'm liking this sewing thing." Might be a time to come in, bring them in, have them look at it, pick out one that works for them. If you think you need a second one because, well,
Or third.
how do you live with just
fourth.
one machine? I don't know.
Well, I forgot.
I know it can be done. I just don't remember those days. So,
I forgot Macy's thing. So Macy, I told you, making
yes,
those bunnies.
that's right. Yeah.
She made a bunch of them. She made a beautiful one for Belle, and I was going to bring that today and show it off because it is gorgeous. But now the thing is every time I turn around now, she's using DM7. And then that. So now I'm down to one machine. I was like, well, that kind of sucks. So she's using my fabric, which is not a bad thing because now I just get to use.
Yeah, I know, but
She's
you
actually-
get to buy more.
Yes, that's it. I get an excuse to buy more. She's using scraps, which is good because it's using up my scraps because I have a lot of scraps. So that's not a bad thing, but it's also an excuse to buy more fabric. But she's also using my machine, so now I have to buy a new machine.
Yes, you do. You need buy her a machine.
Yeah.
So
okay.
and that, which also brings us up to another sale, is Christmas fabric is arriving very soon. So love Christmas fabric. So in order to make some space, we're going to be having sales on fabric that is in store.
Yes.
So because that Christmas stuff,
Bring over some chips.
can't wait. I love Christmas fabric.
Yes.
I'll buy it just because it's beautiful.
Yeah, and then we've got classes coming up. So we're starting to fill the calendar up for summer and the fall for classes. I've got 3 or 4 that are I got about 12. That I'm looking at coming in. We're just getting some final information, and so over the next 2 weeks, I am going to be stitching like there is no tomorrow.
And we have a new teacher.
Who?
Me.
Yeah, she's got
I have
classes
a class
coming
on
in.
the schedule.
I've rubbed off on her, so she's going to start teaching. So I'm signing up just so that I can heckle her now.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe we'll just have to see how we feel about that.
Yeah.
And those trade-in machines.
Oh yes,
Trade-in machines are
new.
still,
So we've got the demo sale and then the trade-in machines. Every store's going to have a little bit different selection. So come on in. It's probably best to come in and take a peeky and see what we have.
And if there is a machine at another store that you want to have a look at, we can have it brought here for you to have a look at, and we'll just make an appointment for you to come and look at that machine. Classes, upcoming classes. Now, like I said, the roster is filling up even in the summer and the fall classes.
So these are just a couple that are coming up. So we've got the
forage bag.
The forage bag.
Are you having trouble with my penmanship?
No, it's my eyeballs.
Okay, all right, good.
So they're all rolling their eyes at me. So
Stitch and chatter. Well, you're having trouble with my writing.
No,
you really
it's not.
are.
My brain is just in 15 different places. And we have my fabric bowl.
Yep.
Well, it's not my fabric bowl, but my class of the fabric bowls. It's the Kimberbell, so it's embroidery. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, come take a peeky in here. And then it shows you how to switch out the center part. The afternoon, the Serger 1 class has some openings in the afternoon, so they opened up a second session for the afternoon. And then the
ruffled decorative tea towel for here in Surrey.
The ruffled what?
Decorative tea towel.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Always check the calendar because new classes are going up all the time. Sometimes we have to open new class, like a second class or a third class,
popular and all that
or
fun
like
stuff.
the free motion with Tom. We had 5, so you just never know.
More.
And now
we have our text.
Special day.
We have our text. Okay, so I'm going to turn this. So, yeah, my camera only fits. There we go. So I got half my face, but that's okay. It's okay. They get to see me all the time, so as long as I'll just be the voice from the abyss.
The voice of reason.
No.
Okay.
Voice
Maybe
of
not.
reason.
Okay.
I can be the voice of reason.
No, you can't. Go.
I'm gonna stay out of that one. Hey everybody, Joel and I are here to tell you what's coming up this summer in the shop. We are actually not gonna be here.
We're kicking them out.
Yeah.
That's right. We have one more week here in the shop working on everybody's machines that you've brought in and doing same day services and that kind of thing. And then from the middle of June all the way through the end of July, we won't be here doing any service to speak of. There will be a very few things getting done between now and then here in the shop, I mean. And that's because all of us, meaning Joel and myself, but also Tom, also perhaps one more tech, and also perhaps Savannah. She will be out helping us as well. So we're taking a whole tech team out to different schools in the Lower Mainland. And we have schools everywhere from like Mount Cheam, which is out in, Rosedale? Is that it? Rosedale. And all the way up into North Vancouver and kind of everywhere in between that you can imagine. We go into the schools to do their maintenance because often, as you can imagine, they have 15, 20, 25, 30 machines and sometimes even more. And they have different types of machines. They'll sometimes have sewing machines as well as sergers and embroidery machines. as you can imagine, if you've known any teachers lately, they're having to do a lot of things themselves. They can't really do this though. And when a school spends the kind of money that they spend buying a lot of machines, they need to do service on them to keep them running as long as possible. I'm so sorry, asthma. We do this service because we want them to be able to stretch their dollars as much as possible. And, you know, it's the same thing that we recommend to our customers, which is we want to do the service before there is a big problem, so we solve small problems. So, Joel, you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yeah, so as we, when we go into the schools, the first, well, I mean, a big part of it is our process to get a lot of them done. Yeah, we like to catch the problems early and that kind of thing because they're, as
And in the high schools, they probably have
They get a lot
about
of-
300 students in a year.
they get a lot of different
teenagers
students
that
using
have
a lot of very inexperienced.
Yes, I was gonna
Let's
say
just leave it at
they're
that.
very inexperienced
inexperienced.
teenagers using their machines. Oh,
Yeah. So
you want to have some fun? Ask them what they experience sometimes with some of those machines.
oh, we see it all at the schools. Like that's one of the things that makes the schools a lot of fun for us. Because there was one time we found a machine. We took off the top cover of a machine, and there was thread wrapped around the top shaft, like a whole entire spool of thread wrapped around.
Yes, it looked like a serger spool of
I
thread.
don't know
Like
if it was
it
you guys
was
that was
all the thread. Was
Tony, or was it Tom or whatever? They opened up one and there was pencils.
Yep.
And rulers, chopsticks.
How does that get in
some-
there?
I don't know.
This
That's
is the greatest mystery. Like you look
We
at
don't
it,
know.
there's no hole, but
We don't know.
We had a machine once where like the access hole for the screw had a marble or a ball bearing stuck down
Yep.
into it. So we had
And
to
wasn't
lift-
there more than one though?
Yeah, there was more than one. It's happened on more than one occasion. That's the crazy thing. But yeah, we see all sorts of things happen at the schools.
The upside is that when you guys kind of do that, our machines with us more experienced and mature sewers doesn't shock you as much, right?
Yeah, well,
We still get shocked from time to
still
time.
get surprised. Yeah. But one of the things too that some of you guys might be wondering too is like how do we manage to get through? Because we go in and we service all of the machines in the classroom in one day.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that we do that is by being partly is the fact that they're serviced every year. So usually there aren't too many issues, and the schools do tend to choose machines that are known to be very robust in that situation as well. Like
Yeah.
machines
good
like
word.
the HD 5000, the
Yeah.
Xiaomi HD 5000, that very solid mechanical machine, takes a lot of abuse and just keeps on going. Things like the FAF. Tipmatics.
Yeah.
There's a few different
Select.
ones. Select
Various numbers.
mechanical older FAF machines. They're robust. They keep going. Bernina 1008s, those kind of machines. Machines that are also designed for servicing. You get some machines in where they're really not designed with the service person in mind. So when we get them on the bench, it's like fiddle around with all sorts of stuff to get. But these machines that the schools pick are generally designed where you can easily access everything and just service it and go.
And a classroom, for the most part, all the machines are the same machine.
Yes, and that's
That's
the
a
other.
big
That's
point.
the big thing. So we go in and we're working on just HD 5000s, so we can really
Kind of
we
do
can
assembly
assembly
line.
line it.
Yeah, we
that's
do.
what we do.
Yeah.
We
We
go
do.
take off all the covers, then blow them all out, then oil them all, and we just kind of do it all in one step.
And we're able to divide our labor based on the people that we have with us. So for instance, when Savannah goes with us, she's taking them apart, blowing them out, oiling them, and sometimes like getting thread jams out. And then she passes them along to us where we do the more technical checks and we do that kind of thing and we put them back together. And as we put them back together, Savannah's wiping them down. So it's this whole process. Because we're able to focus and not, we love interacting with customers, but it does pull us away from the bench when we're here. So because we're able to focus and only do the servicing, and we're doing it in that assembly line fashion, we're able to get them done very much faster. But the biggest part of it is, just like Joel just said, they service them every year. And that means that we find small problems before they're big problems. We make repairs before we have to replace a part. Things like that really make a big difference. So I think that's the main thing we wanted to let everybody know. We will be back in the shop pretty regularly as of the end of July, 1st of August. If you haven't scheduled a same day service prior to right now, you will be scheduling into, I believe, October. End of September.
The end of September right now is what we're looking at for any opportunities.
And we highly recommend you go ahead and try to snatch those spots, because same days will be getting done, of course, like right on schedule, whereas the machines that come in over the summer will take a good bit longer to get done than normal. We've been running around 3 or 4, maybe 5 weeks, which is a big improvement over what our time was before, but it will be back at a longer time when we get back. So,
and this helps explain the why it's going to get a little bit more extended through the summer, because they're not here. And trust me, we miss them too. So
yeah, 6 to 7 weeks of us not being here and not being able to service machines is going to definitely impact our turnaround time later. So just if you have the ability to go ahead and schedule your same day service, go ahead and make sure you do that now, even if you're doing it for October or November, because those spots will fill up very fast.
Yeah.
As people start to prepare for doing their Christmas sewing,
Yes.
those spots are going to fill. So I've already booked
get them
mine.
in. So get them in, and so that they're
I
serviced.
do it as soon as I pick it up.
Yes.
I booked my next year's.
Well, and that's something too. You can't always just there's no limits to like, you have to book for the next available appointment.
No.
You can book it a year in advance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you've got, say, I want to book it, September, so you can book this September, next September, and just so then you always have them going in on the same time. Same time. That. It's becoming very popular. Our same day. It's just the reputation you guys have got in the Lower Mainland is just we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger with the reputation that machines are coming in, they're getting fixed, they're getting serviced, they're getting attention that they need. You guys can get the parts that you need, the official, and all that kind of stuff. So
this is something that's cool about going to the schools too, is that we actually do get a lot of experience from that as well.
Lots. It's like
even
boot
with
camp.
even with the familiar, it really is.
It
Yeah,
is.
you get into it, and it's that mental state of like just focus in on it, and you end up. I mean, because the schools do throw us random stuff. Like you do, it's not like none of the machines have problems. There's always one or two with issues.
Always.
And sometimes it's 1 or 2 with issues, but really it's 10, and just nobody's complained about. None of the students have noticed it or whatever.
Well, no, because if they sit that they know which machine is giving them problems.
Yeah.
So that's the one they sit.
Usually.
That's the one they sit at. So then during class time, they don't have to sew because their machine is having issues, and they're not going to tell the teacher.
Because that's true. That's true.
So there was one other thing I wanted to mention about us doing schools. Because we have all of this experience working with these machines that we service at the schools, if you are trying to outfit a beginner sewer and you want to know, let's say maybe you want to buy a new machine, or maybe you just want to know what to look for on Marketplace or whatever, don't hesitate to ask us, because we can at the drop of a hat tell you which machine models we would recommend for a beginner that would last you a long time and still give you really great service. And while we, of course, we like to recommend machines that we sell here at Tom's, we're not above giving you an opinion on another machine that you have. So this has given us some invaluable experience with even machine brands that we don't carry here.
We do have that one. So if you look back for anybody, you can go back into our list of our year and some, we have that tech, or well, I guess it would have, well, it was a Tom Talk.
A Tom Talk.
Not a tech talk, a Tom Talk.
Tom Talk.
But he talked about if you are buying a used machine through Marketplace or whatever, what you need to look for.
Yes,
so
that's a great one.
if, you know, we have so many topics that we've talked about this past year and a half. If they may not have been something that was front of mind at that point, but go back and look at our old videos. You'll see how much we've grown.
Some of us more than others.
How much we've changed and matured.
Yes. Yes, you can watch some of us age.
Some of us get more voluminous.
Well, I wasn't meaning going that way. I was meaning like,
Right.
you know, in
What is
our
it? When was it? Renaissance?
our
No,
personality.
it was another time for when women were.
Rubenesque.
That's it. There you go. There you go. Yep.
So definitely go back and look at some of our older videos and stuff like that where you'll get tech talks, because at that point maybe it wasn't an issue, but it's just they're great refreshers. Like I go
Yes.
back and look at different ones and going, I know we did a tech talk on that, and I'll go back because now it's making more sense because it was an issue or I'm facing that. So go check the tech talks, go check Tom's, you know, check Deborah's and mine, because you know, which is amazing. I haven't had a lot of sleep, okay guys, so it's just you are getting the sleep deprived side of me, which is not necessarily, you know, all that great, but I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are going to miss you guys over the
Yes,
course of the
absolutely.
next 6
Yeah,
weeks.
Yeah, I do.
But have fun and stay out of trouble.
We'll be glad to get back, because we have to start it at the schools at 8:00 instead of 9:30. It's a big difference.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
days are
it's
longer. So
interesting.
even though you're doing a lot, but your days are longer and more
And
exciting.
earlier, yeah.
Earlier. Although sometimes we get done.
Sometimes we get
earlier.
done a little early.
That's nice.
That's always nice. But then other times,
Other
get
times
ones
we
where
don't.
Yeah.
I remember last summer we had one where we were there almost 12 hours. I think we were there till 7:30.
Lord.
It was, and this was one of those schools that they hadn't had it serviced in years. So
Yeah.
every machine had something like more wrong with it. So there was a lot of extra time spent on just diagnostics.
Yes.
And that's that's the big thing that takes us extra time when we're here in the shop too. Is most people bring in the machine when something's wrong. So there's always that
That's
time
true.
taken to diagnose the problem before we can actually fix it. Because usually fixing the problem doesn't actually take long.
You
It's
just
just
have to
figuring
get
out
to
what the problem
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That's the
This is true.
This
That's
is
the
why
challenge.
regular maintenance is the best deal.
Mhm.
Absolutely, the best
So
way to
we
go. So,
regularly
yeah.
maintain our cars. You know, same thing. These are
Let's
investments.
do it with our sewing machines. as well.
Honestly, I had a customer come in yesterday that said she just bought this. It's a very expensive machine. She brought it in and said she'd never had it serviced. And I said, well, how old is it? And she says 4 years old. And it's in the tens of thousands, this machine. And I just looked at her and she goes, I know, I should have serviced it before now. And I said, I wasn't going to say that, at least not yet. and then I said, but I will say, would you ever buy a car and not get it serviced for 4 years? And she goes, I know.
I was in a forum on Facebook, and they were with sewing machines, and there was a lady. It's the M7, and she had bought hers quite a while ago, and I think she said that she's had it for like 7-8 years or whatever. And she says, and she was going on, oh, it's a great machine. She says, you never have to oil it, you never have to service it.
I saw that
And
one too.
that, and she goes, you know, and that's like, and it was kind of funny because there was I'm biting my tongue. I'm like, you know, but there were several other people going, are you crazy? You do have to oil it. Like, do you not clean out the bobbin and do the? She goes, oh, I just push okay and it's fine. And so, because like every month, like mine comes up, and it's like, you know, the bobbin case needs to. And she goes,
Check engine like.
Yeah.
You know, she goes,
Right.
you know, and then, but she'll be one that'll bring it, like it'll go, and
And
then it'll
she'll
be,
blame the machine.
and she'll go, it's a stupid machine, you know, I
Yeah.
spent all this money on it, not, you know, it's like, well, no, you have to serve it. Even Macy, like, because she's been using my M7, and so I had just cleaned out the bobbin case yesterday, and then she sewed something with a lot of minky. And then, but, so she's like, she says, Mom, she says, I need to finish sewing, but the machine says that this needs to be done. And I said, well, I just did that earlier. And so it shouldn't. And then I think, oh, no, wait, she was sewing with Minky. So it probably is, the sensor's probably, that there's
Yes,
lint and
there's-
stuff in there. So
I'm
gonna have to
sure
do that.
everybody knows Minky, Flannelette. What is the other? There's two more that are really bad.
Well,
too.
Minky's a brand, but there's also, like, that's one brand name, but
Yeah.
it's anything
Yeah.
that's got fluff.
If it's
Yeah.
fluffy or like
Highly
flannel or
textured or-
flannelette are not super fluffy, but they are very fuzzy.
Yeah.
So anything fuzzy, fluffy, furry,
Certain
if it,
anything like
if
that.
it ends in Y, it's probably
Yeah. Well, and it was kind of funny because I walked into my sewing room and my floor, I swept my floor this weekend, and she'd sewn this yesterday afternoon, and my floor just like literally looked like it like threw up Minky everywhere. And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, if my floor looks like that, I'm
I can
imagining.
imagine. Yeah. I am sitting here going, I'm still fascinated by the fact that the machine tells me when the bobbin's going to run out. And here it also tells you nowadays that you need to clean out your lint.
There's a little
The
warning.
advances on these
Yeah,
machines
it pops up and it
never
says
ceases to
your bobbin
amaze me.
case needs cleaning, and so you pop it open and then you take out the bobbin case and you see tons of. So I've got the little cleaners, little things. I need to look at getting a little.
So the next thing they're going to tell us is it's been 1 million stitches since your last service.
Oh, they do
Oh, they
that
do
now.
that?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, the baby
The
locks
baby
in
lock,
particular.
baby
Yeah.
lock,
Okay,
machines,
all right, there
yeah,
you go,
right.
folks. See, there's another one.
Embroidery machines are the ones that usually do that, but yeah. They'll say, they'll tell you how many stitches it's been since the last service, and it'll give you a warning when it gets
It'll
to a
also,
certain level.
it's actually, a lot of them have a lifetime stitch counter on them too.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
an odometer on your car. Where
I think
tells you
mine-
the
yeah.
You can't
machine's
roll
done,
it back.
Like,
Just like your car.
Yeah, I think the 15,000 has that.
Legal to do it in your
That's
car.
right.
Not so on the sewing machine, I don't think.
I wouldn't know that.
She wouldn't know. Okay, alrighty.
All right.
All right, we're gonna let you guys get
Thanks a lot,
back
guys.
so that you guys
Um,
can finish what you can do
Yeah,
before
before you have to
before
leave.
you have to leave. And yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
see you guys. Just
That
has
is
to say
cool.
hello to Debbie.
Yes,
Other than
yes,
that, so.
yes, we do.
All right.
So I think that covers just about everything
yeah,
today. And it's beautiful. We have beautiful weather.
we do.
And I am enjoying your gardening episodes.
I do.
So keep
I've-
it up.
If you don't follow me on Facebook, but you could. But yeah, we've been doing our gardening. I went out and I bought another set of 4 pumpkin plants. I am determined to grow pumpkin. There is a critter that eats my pumpkin plants. I bought some. They were doing well, and then I went out and then they ate them all.
Can you put netting around it?
We're
or
going to
anything?
do that. So
Okay.
that's why right now they're still sitting, not
Okay.
planted in the thing up by my back door where Luna is, and
Yeah.
she's my little guard dog
Okay, good.
for anything. But these
Check them
pumpkin
out.
plants actually have like the tendrils and they have flowers on them. So I luckily every time I bought my pumpkin plants, I haven't lost time with them because I'm buying bigger ones.
Bigger ones, yeah.
My watermelon, I did lose those, but those are still sitting up at the thing. So, but no, it's
Keep us
coming.
posted.
My little beans are coming up. My potatoes are coming up in the actual potato planter. Well, I told you about what Ramon did because his friend told him that you just, throw food scraps.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so he peeled potatoes and then he went through just the peeling in the garden And so one of our planters, we go out to plant, and there's all these potatoes coming up, and I'm like, goes, well, I put the potatoes in there. Okay, do you know where the seed is for the potato? No, it's in the skin. He goes, oh, so we totally lost that planter because there's potatoes. And so that was last year. And so this year we kind of figured we got everything out, but apparently not, because I planted my beets and parsnips and carrots in that one. And apparently I have potatoes coming up too.
Well, there you go. It's
so I got
working.
I got potatoes coming up everywhere else, but he doesn't clue in that if you throw seeds into the ground from like the kitchen, they're going to grow the exact same way as the actual seeds you plant.
That's right. That is right. Well, you know.
So I'm waiting for the mango trees to come up because it's thrown mango seeds.
I don't know if it gets warm enough, but
I don't
give it
know.
a shot. So that's it for this week. Stay tuned, and we'll get maybe some more progress on our garden next week.
Yes.
We'll
Are
see
you
how the
doing
pumpkin plants are doing.
We'll see if we can get them in the ground.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Have a great weekend. Watch your email because there might be a fabric sale. Wink, wink, wink.
There
Coming
will
up.
be.
Making room for Christmas stuff.
Yay! Christmas fabric. Next to Batik, my favorite.
So, all right. Have a great week. Enjoy the sun, and we'll talk to you later.
Alrighty.
Okay. Bye.